Today's a maintenance day. Going to drain the laser and top it up with some fresh demineralised water. Oh, jeez, that's hard to get off. Alright, so there's a drain plug down the bottom here. You see there's a reservoir there. So take the top cap off, put a bucket underneath, catch the old water and put some fresh demineralised water in. Do this usually once every 1 or 2 months just to keep things good. Manufacturer does recommend at least every 3 months if you're using it, or even if you're not using it. So here we go. Here comes the fun part. Sorry for all of you that feel like rushing to the toilet all of a sudden. What I normally do is put a bit of tape just over the seam here, just so when it starts dribbling it doesn't dribble inside the machine. A little bit of tape there just to direct the water downwards when it gets to the dribble stage. And it holds a fair bit, so this can take a while. Starting to go down a bit there now. Sorry about my shaky hands. This is what machine maintenance looks like. So you can see once we get to this stage, rather than dribble onto itself and into that seam inside the machine, this little bit of tape just makes that little bit of difference to help it direct itself. It also prevents it from going back up under the machine, because the tendency for water is to go back around and then fall through the back of the machine. And even though you've got something under the machine, that's not ideal. So I'm going to let this finish draining, and the next step will be the refill. Alright, so I went away and had a coffee, waited for this thing to finish emptying out. As you can see, empty there now. And yes, for anyone who noticed, I did forget to take the top fill cap off, but we're dry. So next step, recap it. And refill with some demineralised or deionised water. So I usually just get whatever's at the supermarket. Demineralised, pretty cheap, only a couple of bucks. And it's good for the laser. You don't want to put just general tap water in there, because you're getting all kinds of contaminants through your tube and your piping. So we'll empty this sucker in. This part could be fun. I should be able to do it. First bit goes really quick. And when it starts burping, when you start getting the air bubbles coming back up, you've got to go a bit slower. And as you've noticed, I've left the bucket there because you usually do spill water regardless. I won't bore you with the tedious part of this, but I'll fill it up. And I'll be good to go again. Okay, so I put one bottle in there, so it was 2 litres. As you'll see, not quite full. From memory, it's about 3 litres. But we also do have to burp the laser, and I'll show you that process shortly. Just over 2.5 litres at the moment. As you can see, the levels up the top, but it'll drop off a little bit. We'll stay just over the line, but now we've got to burp the laser. So, opening the machine up, here's the laser tube itself. So this is what generates the beam to cut. This is what's known as a glass tube, and you see in there's coils. So there's actually water flows through that coil, one end to the other, and through all that tubing you see there, and then through the radiator. So that effectively keeps it cooled. And at the moment, that tube is completely empty, and it'll normally sit with a bit of liquid in it. So what we need to do now is just fire up the laser, turn everything on, and we'll start seeing water flowing through here. And that level, where's it at now? Yeah, we still need a bit more in there, but that level should drop a little bit more as water cycles through the circuit there. So let's get that done. Okay, so now for the cool part. So laser tube currently empty. Now level settled just a little bit below full. So let's turn it on. I'm going to watch the tube fill up with water. Now we'll burp it a couple of times because what it actually does is just stuff falling down in the office here. So you'll see water come through and push that way, and then you'll hear like a rush of air as it comes through. And you'll see at first, this little section here, you'll see bubbles circulating. It usually takes 4 or 5 restarts and usually a bit of a top up. So it flushes all the air through and we're good to go again. So here we go. There's the water. You see the bubble, air bubble sitting there. And through my talking you would have heard the air bubble come through. Now the level will drop down, so we've dropped, we're about spot on actually. That's a first. Still do a little bit of a top up because we'll still have a few little air bubbles in there. Now as you can hear there's actually water circulating. It's hard to see because it's clear. That's about the only way you can really ever see air circulating. The moment the radiator's kicked in. So ambient temperature 26.5 degrees when it started, and that's going to try and cool it down to 18 degrees. And that's where this fan that I did the previous video on comes in. So that's a heat exchanger, just like a radiator or a thermo fan in a car. So we'll kill it. You see the bubble will sit there, and we'll turn it on another 1 or 2 times. Just to get that full bubble. You can hear all that air purging through the lines. It's my magnetic watch wristband there. So where are we at here now? Okay, so it has gone down a bit now, so just below normal line, so that'll require a little bit more of a top up. But now we have the tube charged with water and we're almost ready to go again. Okay, so I've done 4 restarts now. I had to do a bit of a two-handed operation, so I couldn't hold the camera at the same time. But while it's running and fully purged of air, just trickled in the de-mineralised water. That level now is sitting bang on the full mark, which is exactly what I want. I'll go down a little bit, I'll give it a little bit more of a top up, because I usually like it just to have a little bit more, just in case there ever is a leak and it takes me a little while to find it. That way we won't destroy a laser tube. Give us a little bit of warning first so you can shut it down. But time to button this patient up. So we are done. And that is how you change your water on one of these AEON mirror laser cutters. Top the cap back on, just hold out the hands. And that is how hard it is to do your monthly or bi-monthly maintenance. That water level's not too bad, it looks worse than it is. I'll give it a little bit of a top up still. But we're done. Now we can reconnect everything and off we go again, cutting for another 1 or 2 months.